Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. Now, this week I was supposed to review animated leader Megatron, but I took a look at the figure, have not picked it up for 5 years, and all the grey plastic has gone hideously discoloured. So until such time that I can actually get that fixed, I had to settle for my fallback plan, which is this figure. Now, I've had this since it came out. I bought this at Toys R Us for 125 quid. I will get more into that as I do the review, so you can find out what an amazing bargain that was. And this is, despite the fact it's a Toys R Us figure, it's gone through a little modification, which I shall also go into during the review. So, ladies and gentlemen, grab yourself a cup of tea, have a sit down, and join me as I review Masterpiece 13 Soundwave. Right, so this is Masterpiece Soundwave's box. Now, this was a Toys R Us. This is the Toys R Us version, and I'm not being funny about this. I'm looking forward to throwing this box away because you can see how much space I'm going to save in my shelf by doing so. The box could have actually got away, considering it, despite all the stuff it comes with. Right, this box could have got away with being half the size if the figures, if Soundwave in particular, had been packaged in cassette player mode. But for some reason, it wasn't like that. They decided to do it as robot mode, and everything else came in that sort of cassette form. And you ended up with this massive square box. And I've kept it all these years, like I keep all my Masterpiece boxes. But I think I'm going to do a series of Masterpiece reviews, which will give me the excuse to actually get rid of a lot of the ones that are this size, believe it or not. There's nothing interesting about it. It's got a little bit of bio on the side of it. Do the Transformers the movie scroll there. So that's a little bit of bio about him. You can pause the video and read that for yourself. Yeah, apart from that, it's just this massive cardboard box with a plastic in tray. So I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about this. So I'm going to get rid of this shit and we'll crack straight on into the figure itself. Right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is Masterpiece MP12? MP13? MP13, I think. This is MP13's, do you know what, I don't even remember. Do you know what, I should have actually researched that before I started. Do you know what, it doesn't fucking matter. This is the Toys R Us version of Masterpiece Soundwave, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's a few subtle differences to mine as to compared to other people's, mostly because I fucked around with mine. And I'll come on to that when I show the robot mode. This is awesome. And I'll just get that right off the bat. But there are some things, I say some things, there's one thing that the original did better than the Masterpiece version. Well, two things, actually. One, I mean, this painted on Decepticon symbol here, I've only just noticed after fucking a decade of owning this fucking thing that has been painted on just a little bit lopsided, so that's not that's not entirely straight, which is awesome. It's got a little bit of functionality, a little bit of playability in this mode, which is fantastic, which is carryovers actually from the original G1. Which is cool. Let me actually show the original G1 here because I just happen to have it to hand for the purpose of this review, right? So a lot of things are very, very similar. So you've got the little eject button that works for G1 Soundwave and for the Masterpiece as well. You've got on the side, you've got the sliding button just there for whatever. On the other side, you've got the little dial thing just there. This one is a little stiff. This looks like it's got little jack imports, 5mm jack imports for headphones and sort of things like that. I mean, if it wasn't 1984, you would also think that these were possibly like sort of SD card slots or something like that. But there's a little bit of discernible detail for just the shits and giggles factor of it. A little bit of stuff down here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But you come out to the back, and the back is a bit of a mess. Now, the G1, because G1's awesome. Everything is very, very tightly packed in. Everything is like sort of. I mean, this here is the battery cover, and if you pull that down, obviously because I did this in my G1 review, there's the weapon storage just there. Battery storage. On the Masterpiece version, as you might have guessed, let's get a bit of light on that. No such thing. So there's no battery cover here. I mean, the weapon on this side is integrated. This is his gun that pops out. But it still would have been nice if they'd have carried over the same thing, like sort of battery cover that would hold this, at least this weapon, and this one could slide out and then go over, or whatever. I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas on a toy that's fucking like over 10 years old, but you know, what the fuck do I know? Clearly nothing at all. I'm just the end consumer. Some annoying things about this, there's a little bit of chrome wear. Let's see if I can get yeah, there's a little bit of chrome wear on the top ejection button already, which kind of makes it feel even more G1 really, and a little bit of chrome wear on the buttons as well, which do actually push. Well, these two do anyway. Let's get that back into focus. These actually have movement, which is all very nice. And this little recording battery thing is actually a little physical bump as opposed to just a sticker on the toy. The colours are fantastic. The colours are really bright. There's a tiny little bit of damage to mine. Oh yeah, there's fucking chrome wear on this as well. There's a tiny bit of damage to mine on the leg where I don't remember why, but for some reason the leg had got stuck attached to the body, and for the life of me I could not get it off. So I ended up prising the leg out of the joint, like sort of like off the connector with like a fucking knife or something like that. I ended up scratching up the inside of the leg. That's so scuffing the paint. That's entirely my fault. It's down to me being an absolute prick. So let's have a look at some of the things that Masterpiece Soundwave came with. Okay, so he came with one instruction booklet. Now, the reason this is showing Frenzy, Rumble, and Laserbeak, and fucking Ravage, and all the other shit is because the Toys R Us version of this guy came with all the cassettes included, all their external accessories if they had them. So I'll show the cassettes. I mean, I haven't got all the accessories out for the cassettes, but I'll just show the cassettes. So you had Soundwave just there. We also have Ravage just here. All of his weapons are now built into the Jaguar mode, so that's that. So he came with Ravage. He came with Buzzsaw. All his weapons are now integrated into the Condor as well. He came with Laserbeak. Straight up repaint of the other one. Exactly the same features, same transformation, same everything. Came with Laserbeak. He came with Frenzy and Rumble. I'm not getting into the fucking argument of who's who or anything like that. That argument does not interest me whatsoever. For the when I eventually come to review these, for the purposes of those reviews, this will be Rumble, okay, and this will be Frenzy. I'm just going to go off the G1 cartoon, and you can all suck a dick. How about that? So there's that. He comes with one Megatron in gun mode. Now the Megatron in gun mode is the same Megatron that came with Starscream. I think Sunstorm had one. There was 2 or 3 of these flying around, so, or actually more than that. So if you were collecting all the Decepticon masterpieces at some point, there's a good chance you might have ended up with half a dozen of these fucking things when one would have sufficed. And Megatron is pretty cool. He has a detachable scope, silencer, and if I do this correctly, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure the stock is supposed to disconnect as well. Does it? I thought it did. Well, yeah, from the looks of it, just there, from the looks of it, it does disconnect. So it becomes the standard Walther P38 pistol, okay? But for now, we're just going to attach everything on here again. And there he is in Man from Uncle mode, okay? So I spent far too much time talking about that shit. Yeah, and the instruction booklet. He came with one additional chest panel thing, which sits above the other chest panel, which is cool. You could also put like sort of I think little graphics or something like that on here. And even though I'm using it as weapon storage, he also came with this, which was supposed to be like an Energon cube thing. I may or may not show that off for the purposes of the review. I don't know, but for now, it's a handy little storage tin for the cassette weapons. Okay, and that's about it for the accessories. So now we're talking about this guy. Now I'd say I wouldn't. Maybe he's double the size. Maybe 2/3 the size of the original G1 Soundwave. And the cool thing is, you take the original for just a moment, and I take, I don't know. Let's take Laserbeak. That's not Laserbeak. Okay, let's take Frenzy for just an example. The original Soundwave can hold the Masterpiece cassettes. Now, I'm either totally truthful in that, or I'm bullshitting. Maybe he can't. Maybe he can't, can he? Maybe he can't. Oh, okay. Maybe I've got it wrong then. Maybe the Masterpiece version can hold the... Fuck. Why do you people tune into this shit? Why? Why do you do it? Maybe the Masterpiece version can hold the G1 cassettes. In fact, you know what? For the purposes of science, right? And because I'm clearly a bit of a dickhead, right? Jesus Christ, lads! Oh, great, Laserbeak's head's fallen off now. Ah, right, okay. So this is a very dusty. Oh Christ! This is a very dusty G1 Laserbeak. Okay, and I'm just going to transform him to cassette mode very, very quickly. There we go. Absolutely no fuss there whatsoever. He can hold Generation 1 cassettes, right? Fucking, that was painful. And now I've got the fucker stuck in there. I don't even know how that was possible. Oh, this has all gone wrong. This has all gone fucking very, very, very horribly wrong very, very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. That was supposed to be a... that was not supposed to happen. I'm not entirely sure how to fix that, so we're going to ignore that for now, right? Okie dokie. Right, this could very well be my last my last review. There's got to be a way to get that cunt out of there. I will worry about that later on. So we've got Masterpiece Soundwave here. Now the transformation for this guy is near enough exactly the same as the G1. There are a couple of added points to it due to it being a masterpiece with a fucking stuck G1 cassette in the body. There we go. Now, do you know what? At least he's in there. In fact, am I right in thinking that he can hold more than one cassette? That can't be right. Can it be right? I'm not going to science that because I may never get Laserbeak out of there again. Yeah. Oh right. Okay. So there's a button on the back just here, so you can have more than one cassette in there, and then basically you just spring them forward like this. Okay. So with that in mind, get the fuck it. Yay! There we go. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, was persistence in the face of adversity. Right. So let's have a look at this. So we are going to try and transform Masterpiece Soundwave. So far, the first half of this review has been an absolute disaster. But then again, it's a Wolfgang 1 review, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to start with pulling out the arms just like this. Okay, apologies for the strange transition there, ladies and gentlemen. My camera phone decided to stop recording partway through the review. So as a result, I've got to do the transformation again. Right, so we might as well just crack straight onto this. Now, with the exception of like a few extra fancy little bits because it's a fucking masterpiece, the transformation is near enough exactly the same. There's just like a few more steps that you need to pay attention to. So let's start by taking these arm sections and just like sort of bringing them up, and that will detach the panels just here at the top, as you can see, just like that. Then we need to start pegging these, which is not the easiest thing in the world, especially if you haven't fucking done this in a while. Right, okay, so let's get that out of the way. There's another one on the other side. There we go. That's supposed to fucking move. There we are. Fucking hell, I was panicking that wasn't going to happen for just a moment. Then we are going to take these sections and separate them. So this is the same as the G1, so we're going to take that like that. Okay, just put those out to one side. Now, a different section here is The crutch plate is now going to collapse just like this. We're going to fold the crutch plate underneath like that. And then these two tabs here are going to plug into the arse tab just there. And that's pretty much his arse and his bollocks taken care of. Okay, so let's now extend the legs just like this. Rotate them, or bring them down just like that. Rotate them forward like this. And then you've got all this shit on the sides. So this silver tab just here is going to unplug, and it's going to fold round and then bring up for the foot just like that. So we're going to do that on both sides, just like this, and just like that. Incidentally, do you remember me saying about the leg getting stuck and I had to prise it off with a screwdriver? Well, that is the resulting damage to the paint just there. My own ineptitude at work again there. Then these sections here, we're just going to bring these down to the sides, just like this. Down again. I'm not sure what we do with this bit. I mean, that might just plug in down the side. I don't know. Let's see. Down like that. Down like this. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that if I've mistransformed that, I dare say someone in the comments will go, "Oh, you did that wrong," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I couldn't give a flying fuck what I did wrong, quite frankly." So let's say, for argument's sake, that's correct, because I really cannot be bothered. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Then we're going to do the arm sections, and the arms are going to come down like this. They're going to spring around, and this panel here is going to lock in like this, and then the panel at the back is going to fold down. Okay, let's do that on both sides like this. Panel at the back like that. Okay, now this is just falling out the back. That's one of his little battery things. That will form his gun in just a moment. Let's bring the camera up. There we go. This is not as much of a disaster as I initially anticipated it being. But you know what? The review is still young, ladies and gentlemen. This could still go horribly wrong very quickly. Okay. Then the torso section is going to be pushed back just a little bit until you hear it click. And then these sections are going to open up somehow. I say they're going to open up. I mean, there we go. Fold out the hand, which is always a little tricky. Now, Soundwave did have another accessory that I forgot to show off, which is like, it won't even be in the what do you call it? The photo gallery on my Facebook page. So don't worry about it. But it's a little thing that clips on when his hand's stuck in his arm. I can't bother to show it off because it's not important. So we go pull out that hand, close it up, bring the arm down. We are now almost entirely at the end here, right? So this section here is his shoulder mounted cannon. Now this is actually incorporated into the toy, which is fucking great. Okay, so we're going to bring that up like that. We're going to swing it round, rest it on the shoulder, and then this panel here, fold this down, bring up the head. Just fucking do as you're told. There we are. And then close that panel back up. And then there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is Masterpiece Soundwave. I'm just going to position his legs and that so he's not quite awkward. Well, no more so than he should be. There we are. Focus, you fuck. Focus. There we go. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is Masterpiece Soundwave. Let's give him his little weapon. So we're going to extend that just like that. And there's a way of getting the thing out, apparently. Not sure how. What am I doing wrong there? Someone tell me. So that, and then maybe we need to get a toothpick or something for that. Talk amongst yourselves while I find a toothpick, ladies and gentlemen. Or actually, I'll just cut the fucking footage here again and do another transition. There we go. Right, so this, we pull that out like that. And there should be a little handle somewhere. There we go, maybe. I don't know, you think I'd be quite good at this, wouldn't you? But I'm not. I'm not at all. Little handle, flips out like this. And there's Soundwave's gun just there. So we're going to put that in his hand, which is the standard Masterpiece, like sort of peg and port thing. So open up his hand if you can. Maybe if you can't, don't waste your life away about it. Or if you're having real trouble, just employ the toothpick mechanism like that. There we go. I'm so inept. Put the gun in his hand like that. Close the hand up. Yeah, whatever. That's mostly good enough. And ladies and gentlemen, there is get my fucking light out of the way. Oh god, it's a Wolfgang 1 review, ladies and gentlemen. You can tell that, can't you? And there we are. That is Masterpiece Soundwave in all his glory. Now, this is the Toys R Us version. Now, you might have wondered that this guy has red eyes. Let me you'll see that he's got red eyes. This is actually the Toys R Us version. The only difference between the Toys R Us version and the Takara was, as far as I could determine, the colour of the eyes. The Takara one had the red eyes and the Toys R Us version had the yellow ones. But I also had a Masterpiece Sound Blaster as well, which had the red eyes. And what I did was I swapped them out painstakingly. Actually, it took a lot of effort to Jesus. Fuck you, and the horse you rode in on. It took a lot of effort to get the back screw out of the head and separate the head. But there's a Masterpiece Sound Blaster out there somewhere with yellow eyes, which actually it just looked better. It suited the colour scheme better. But this is the Toys R Us version. The plastic colour was the same. The paint application was the same. It was only the eye colour that was different. Now, the good thing about the Toys R Us version, apart from all that, and coming all the accessories and everything like that, it was £125 all in, which basically equates to £25 for this Masterpiece figure and £25 for each tape and its accessories, which I thought was an incredible deal. And considering it was just basically a swap out on the eyes, this looks like the Takara version. And if I ever sold it, I would love to be able to say it's the Takara version, but my honesty would actually kick in, and I'd say no, it's a Toys R Us version. It's just been modified. Articulation-wise, well, it's a Masterpiece. Despite the fact the Masterpiece is a few years old, it's got articulation in all the places you expect to find it. I'm not going to demonstrate that now because this review has gone wrong enough as it is. But he is a wonderful, wonderful figure. I'm just going to transform G1 Soundwave, and I'll do a comparison in height between the two. There we are. There we are. That, and that. And somewhere there should be his... There we are. And there he is with the original Soundwave. The Soundwave comes up to, I'd say, roughly where his tits should be. So, yeah. I mean, for a G1, I mean, I mentioned this in Soundwave, G1 Soundwave review, the level of articulation that this version had was incredible for its time. And this one can do all that and more. So, in terms of, like, accessories, well, you can put on the extra thing, so he's got a grid chest. That's pretty cool. If I was to take that off and take this, and what's supposed to be an energon cube, and basically you take the lid off it and you just attach that to his chest, and it looks like he's making energon cubes. Well, I say he's supposed to be, not with any degree of success there, evidently. Oh, I see. That's what the second thing's for. Right. So, oh God's sake, why? I don't know why I do these reviews. I really don't, because I am so fucking bad. I've been doing. I'm just going to get this out of the way now. Right. I've been doing reviews now since 2008. Right. And as you might have all noticed, to some degree or another, I've not got any better. In fact, there is an argument to be made that I might have got progressively worse. And you'd be absolutely right. If you want him to hold Megatron, he can do that. Just like extend the handle on Megatron, stick him in there, close up the hand, and he can hold Megatron as well. I wish this would fucking focus. There we go. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, Soundwave is a fantastic, fantastic figure. And I was on the fence about collecting Masterpieces because I had bad experience with Masterpiece Skywarp and Masterpiece Rodimus. So the original Skywarp mold and the MP9. And I got MP10, was really impressed. I got MP 12, which was side swipe. So yeah, this is MP13. And MP13 and Soundwave is an incredible figure. I know that a few third parties have done like a version of him. Hang on, let's see if I can get him into a dynamic pose, because that's what you all want to see, apparently. I know a few third party figures have done like a version of him, and I dare say they're fantastic. But there is something about this masterpiece here which just, for me, ticks all the right boxes. If you can get hold of one, if you never did, then I definitely recommend checking them out. I mean, the level of detail, the sculpted detail, you can even put Laserbeak like on his hands here. I mean, I'm not going to transform Masterpiece Laserbeak to prove the point, but you can. Maybe I'll show that off in the photo gallery. But this guy is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this travesty of a review, as mine often tend to be. This is Gerald Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I'm taking a break from G1, specifically G1s, for a couple of weeks. I'm going to focus on something else. So next week I might do Galaxy Cybertron Optimus Prime. We'll see how we do with that. But until we see each other again, thank you for watching this. This has been Masterpiece Soundwave. This has been me, Gerald Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1. I'll be back soon with more Star Trek Online, because that's done really popular. There will be more 7 Days to Die. Go and watch 7 Days to Die, you bastards. Thank you for watching my reviews of Star Trek Online. It means a lot to me, and the sub count has gone absolutely through the roof in the last sort of 13 days. But go back and watch 7 Days to Die. I put a lot of work and effort into those, and it's funny. That's not the way it makes me laugh. But let's face it, my humour is fucking bargain basement fucking bin fucking humour, isn't it, quite frankly? But yeah, go back and watch that. Go back and watch all my stuff, and adore me, basically. So until we see each other again, thank you for watching, and take care. And when tomorrow comes, I feel you laying by me, like you ain't got nowhere else to go.